Okay, Appliance Bootcamp. This is Mike Sneed coming to you live. We're going to give YouTube a few minutes to let everybody know that we're here for them to go ahead and send out notifications. I'm going to go ahead and I'll put the actual number in the chat. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Um, Hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. I cannot complain. If you can look behind me, all these boxes and stuff I have back here. This is parts that we got to that has to go on to people appliances. So we are extremely booked. It's bad when you wake up on Monday and you already halfway booked through next week, and people start. Mondays is a big day. People are calling, and I'm telling them we're 2 weeks out, and people are almost begging you to come out and fix their stuff, but you just don't you can't put it in your schedule because I had to, I got to put stuff back on, and you having to tell people that you can't put them in, and people refrigerators are out and whatnot. It's crazy time. It's a great time to be in appliance repair. Like I said, the worst part about this business is what we're experiencing now. It's just too much work, and is at the point now where it's starting to get a toll on me right now, where I need a vacation. Because I've just been grinding with this pandemic. This is the busiest I ever been, and with this pandemic, it just haven't been any breaks. And I can't wait for us I can't wait for it to slow down and take a dip. And we're getting ready to go into the cooking season now, and that's going to be crazy too. Because normally, what people do, they go buy new stuff. Right now, there's no new stuff to go buy. So I can only imagine how this is going to turn out during the cooking season. Also, I just want to let everybody know, appliance boot camp. We are going to go up on the price. At the end of October, the price is going up for the live event. It's going to be $2,200, and I'm going to do a video and release it tomorrow too. But the live event is going to be $2,200, and the online is going to be $850. We're going up on the price, um, uh, mainly because of new stuff I'm going to be adding in. The Me making myself available as more people come in. I'm having to make myself a lot more available and becoming a full time job. So I'm gonna have to as soon as this pandemic, I might just wait I might do it before the pandemic, but I gotta actually bring some staff in to actually help out because it's getting to a point now I can't do it all by myself. So I have to go up on the price to actually be able to absorb the price of bringing staff in to actually help out. So we gotta have that, and there's some new stuff that I'm looking at too to actually to actually help everybody a lot more. So that stuff that'll be coming out also. But today we're gonna have to go to an oldie but goodie. YouTube has a way where they go through and they actually promote different videos of yours and run them. So evidently something about that about that age group of the video I done about the different age groups. It must be getting some promotion now because I'm getting a lot of emails. They even having people calling other YouTubers, and they're getting in contact with me about people and asking about why did I say that certain thing. And today I'm going to explain why I'm saying that, and we got to have some grown up conversations now. A lot of times, what people are doing, they other people know people who actually are who other people who are in business and who actually are planning their retirement. A lot of people are planning their retirements right now who are our age. A lot of people you're looking at on YouTube, even though we're in our early mid 30s, mid 40s, we're actually now transitioning over into retirement, and and so that's where a lot of my focus is now. And so when other people call me, who are going into their 60s, mid 50s, mid 60s, some people in their 70s, I'm afraid. And when I come off and start talking uh, about people ages and stuff, if they're gonna have enough time, and especially if they're questioning me if they should take the course or go some other route. No, you can go other routes. I don't mind that. I suggest you go wherever you feel comfortable at. But I'm actually really afraid for them, and that's why I'm telling them about their different ages, that they don't have they don't have time to keep procrastinating and thinking about what they're going to do. It should be planned out, because mainly the people who call me, have to be honest, African American men who are calling me. And with us, we're in a somewhat of a special circumstance, unlike other races and stuff. Not saying other races don't have same problem, but not as pronounced as we have. And the problem that we have systematically and generationally been just broke, from some just because it hasn't really been in nobody in our family never had any money or anything. And what happens, the one or two generations before us, they didn't have to think about retirement. They could go to the factory, get a job. The job gave them a pension. All they had to do was work. They could work at the same job for 30, 40 years, retire. They had a little bit of social security. They had enough money the factories then was paying them enough money to both of my parents worked in the cotton mill at the factory, but they earned enough money to be able to pay cash, and the universities won't charge you that much. My parents could work and pay my way through college as they went. And that's what they the universities were charging a amount where where the working man could work and pay without going taking out any loans. My parents could pay for my sister and I at the same time in college without taking any loans out their pocket. Just they couldn't pay it all at once, but they let you sign promissory notes where they break the payments up into a couple of payments throughout the school year. So we were able to do that, and then they didn't have to worry about investing their money. They didn't have to worry about retirement. They knew that the company was going to give them a pension, and that was it. They just worked, and they didn't have to worry about it. Weren't going to be no jobs there, or if they're going to get laid. The whole plant was going to get closed down Monday morning when they show up and move overseas. It just wasn't heard of. So they didn't have those things to worry about. So with that, they didn't necessarily have to. They didn't necessarily learn the skills to actually um, plan for their own retirement. But here we are now where you're stuck in a place where the company said they took the pensions away and say they gave you these 401ks and all this stuff and Roth IRAs and the stuff that the government created for you to actually say now you're in charge of putting your own money away for retirement, and you got to be disciplined enough to do it yourself. Unfortunately, you taking a group of people who haven't been told anything about finances, compound interest, delayed gratification, or anything, and you're telling him now he got to now start at 20 some years old, start working and actually saving enough money and making enough smart investments so when he get to be 65, 67, that he has enough money and enough financial literacy that he can actually be able to uh, to take care of himself um, the rest of his years, and with no training anywhere. Nobody gives you that training. And so now here these guys coming to here now talking about in their mid 50s and 60s, talking about they getting ready to get themselves together so they can go buy a house and get ready. They need to get something together for retirement. Then they asking me, is this a good fit for them? That's why I go sometime into those rants. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to actually show you what retirement is going to look like for you, if you continue on going to get a job or the way that you're going, and I'll show you why we're somewhat in the situation that we're in. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen real quick, and this screen that I'm going to share. This is if you ever heard of Dave Ramsey. This is something you can go to Dave Ramsey right here, and they have an investment calculator. very easy to do. You can just plug in your numbers, and it'll tell you how much money you can expect to have by the time you retired, based upon how much money you currently have in your retirement, and how much you plan to contribute every month. And from there, you can get a good picture of what you're going to get. So I'm just going to take the average of what the people I have talked to, they have given me their information. I'm going to take the average of what they're telling me they have, and why I get excited and telling them they don't have time to wait. They need to hurry up or they ain't going to make it. So people come here. We're going to say 55, because that's the group that the people who was telling me that they 55 to maybe 65. But I was just going to say 55. I'm going to take the low end. They were 55 to 65 who are saying, I'm good, I can still make it, I need to get started now. So we're gonna say 55. And me, this is not me. This is what everybody thinks. Everybody thinking 67, you're supposed to be retired and you're supposed to be out the game. So when I was telling people that, that wasn't just me saying, hey, I'm pulling that number out my butt and all that. That's me telling them society expects at 67 for you to not to be out here trying to start a new career. Not saying that you can't, but the society, our whole infrastructure in society is not planned on and based upon a 67-year-old still in the workforce. They're expecting you to be out and letting those new people who need to come into the workforce to be coming in, and you be coming out. But now is at the point now where people are telling me they're going to keep working at 67 and 77. They can't get out. So when you start to do that, it eliminates spaces for the younger kids to get in. So here we go. They're gonna say I'm gonna put the current age at 55. We're gonna say 67. All right. Right here, I'm gonna put 10,000. Most of them that's calling, they got less than 10,000. Unfortunately, we got this another issue that we have in our race. We have we had through the 80s. In the 80s, we had the crack epidemic came through, and they locked up a lot of people with these 30 years, 25, 30 years in prison. And now these guys are getting released, and a lot of these guys are the ones who are coming back, trying to get back into the workforce, and they trying to find something to get themselves out. So they haven't done anything. They haven't put no money away. They haven't done anything. They haven't bought houses. There are a whole segment of their life have been just uh, put on hold. And so these are the guys who are actually coming out here, and they don't have 10,000 set away yet. They're coming out with zero, but I'm just gonna put 10,000, and I'm gonna say how much that you expect to contribute monthly. I'm gonna put $300. $300. We know most of us, and I'll go through the numbers. Why? Most of us, when I was working in corporate America, and at 20 some years old, I won't put in $300 a month because I just didn't have it to put it in. Not sure I'm gonna work my numbers why I didn't have it to put it in, but I didn't have $300 to put away a month for retirement. I won't put nothing away for retirement because I just didn't have no money. And then when I really started putting some away, it's like $100, $200. But as soon as it got to about $1,500, $2,000 where I could borrow from it, I was pulling money out of it, borrowing it just to make it through the month. And to halfway try to fool the young ladies that I had some money. If I was going on vacation or something, I'd take money out my 401k, borrow it, and then pay it back. And it was just crazy. So I'm just going to say $300 a month. And they're gonna ask you what type of return you expect to get. On average, you get about 12% return from the S&P 500, and that's what they're saying here. You get about 12% return on S&P 500. So from there, we're gonna just put the average 12, and you hit calculate, and right here it tells you at 67 about how much money you can expect to have. You can expect to have $137 and $137,624. That's how much you are expected to have by the time you hit 67. Now with that, you're gonna have to now start living off of this money. At that point in time, you're looking at now going into retirement. So with that, you're gonna now start making distribution payments out of your 401k. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take that amount of money, and we're gonna start taking out 8%. The reason I say 8%, inflation is gonna take about 2% of your money, just inflation alone. And then you don't want to pull all the money that's left out of there. You want to leave some money to keep it growing. So you don't want to pull all the eggs out the basket. So if you get 12%, you take two for inflation. You leave two in there to keep it growing. Some people say leave 4% in there to grow, but I'm just saying I'm being simple because you broke and you got to eat. We're gonna leave 2% in there, and then you're gonna bring 8% off. So we'll take that. We're gonna take this amount right here and multiply it by 0.08, and that'll show how much money. We'll multiply by 0.08, and that'll show you about how much money you're gonna get per year. Um, if and that's doing it in mutual funds. That's not you trying to pick no stock or nothing like that. That's you just putting it into mutual funds and just letting it sit there and putting it into a Roth IRA. If you're still working for somebody, you want to do it in a Roth because what happened with a Roth, you don't have to pay taxes on that money as you start to pull it out. It'd be tax free. So that's why you want to use it as a Roth. That way you get all your money. You don't want to put it in a traditional RA and then you start pulling it out and you got to pay taxes and all that stuff on it. You're gonna put it in a Roth, so when you pull it out, you don't have to pay taxes on it. And you're gonna have a Roth RA, and out of that Roth RA, you're gonna go out and buy mutual funds. And the way you do that, you'll go to the bank. Just go to your local bank and tell them you want to open up a Roth RA and tell them you want to buy mutual funds out of it. And I think the minimum amount it used to be like $3,000 that you it's $1,500 or $3,000 that you have to use to actually open it up. And then once you open it up, I'll get to this in a second. There's only so much money you can put in there per year, so you limited how much money you can put in there per year. So that's gonna give you $11,000. Now at $11,000, the actual poverty rate for somebody in the United States in America, just for one person, is 12,760. So you below the poverty line. You already living in poverty. That's not enough money for you to make it. So what you end up doing, this kind of what happened to a lot of my parents and a lot of people in their generations when when the companies went overseas. The companies gave them like 150, maybe $200,000, and they thought that was a lot of money when they retired. I got 150, $200,000. I don't need no more money, but they don't realize that they below the poverty level. To live in the United States, you're gonna spend about 20,000 a year just in buying groceries, just living in the United States. You're gonna spend somewhere close to about 20,000 a year, unless the government comes in to help. So what happened? You looking, they only you're not gonna be able to pull that 8% off of this money right here. You're gonna start pinching off of it, and as you start to pinch off of it, you're gonna know something comes up, and you're gonna need to have some medical procedure done. You're gonna have to pull 8,000 here. Then you got something going on with your house. You got to pull another 5, 6. You're gonna start pinching off of them. As you start to pinch off and pull stuff off your nest egg, it eventually get to a point where it's not kicking off enough money to do anything. And then what you eventually do, you just say, forget it, cash me out, give me my money. And that's what they do. They take their money. And when you get your money, when you cash all your money out and get it, now you realize that you're going to be spending about 20,000 per year. And if you got 80,000, you only got 4 years that you're going to make it before you dead broke. And that's what happened. They pull all their money out and they say, 4 years hit, and they gone. They don't have any. You don't have any more money, and you dead broke. And you wondering where the money went. I had $100,000, $200,000 when I retired. Now I don't have any money. That's because nobody never talks to us about retirement. So that's why when I see these guys, that's why I'm putting so much emphasis on that they need to start a business. Because what happened, if you looked here and you say, oh man, I'm putting 300, I want to up it up. If you up it up, the most you can open it up to, and these, if you 50 years and younger, they only allow you if you 50 years and younger to put in 6,000 per year in a Roth RA. if you're 55 and older, they'll allow you to put in $7,000 per year. So we'll just say, hey, this guy's 55, so he can put in the 7,000 per year. That's $583 he can put in per month. So he put $583 per month in. So now he's saying, I'm gonna put the max in because I see now I'm not gonna be able to make it. Let's see what he get. He got $227, $227,919. So let's see how much that's going to kick off for him per year. And this is stuff that they should be teaching us in school, and that we need to be having these conversations about because it's coming, and it's coming, and ain't nothing. I don't care. Father Time is going to catch all of us. It's coming. It's coming, and Social Security ain't going to be there. Now all you getting is about 18,000 per year. It's a little bit better, but it's still not enough to make it here in the United States of America. You still about $2,000 to $3,000 short every year that you're gonna start pinching off of it. And as you start to pinch off of it, the more it's coming off. And then on top of that, you got this in the stock market. So if you get a month, you get a year like in 2018 where it was negative, where it was negative return, like a -4. It kills your money. It kills your money, and right now you're not working or anything to contribute back. So it kills your money because you still got to pull that 18,000 off to live, and you ain't putting enough in there to replenish it. So that stuff start to happen. You don't have no way to hedge against the stock market or hedge against inflation to actually keep your money constant. So that's the problem that you have when you're doing the 401ks like that, and when you got a job. Now, if you whatchamacall, if you actually come and do what I tell you to do, and you start a business, and this is the other reason why too, I tell them, if you go and you just want to go get a job as an appliance repair technician, you can go, and there's plenty of schools that teach you how to be a great technician, and you can go out and get a job. There's plenty of schools that can teach you that. But the problem you're running up against when you're like 55 years old and older, or 50 years old and older, you got retirement squeezing you in. You ain't got the same problems that a 20-year-old got, that a 30-year-old got. Now, for 30-year-old, just think if they're 30, if we put 30 here right here, and a 30-year-old is putting in $300 per month. He got 3 million that he'll make, so he good. He good at three. If he do that, and so nobody showed us this at 30 years old. If we would have just put in $300 per month into a Roth IRA, we'll end up with like $3.2 million. And then let's see here, 3287035 times 0.08. So he getting $262,000 per year to live off of, and other people are doing this, and we're wondering why they're able to have money to pass down and stuff, but nobody's telling us this and not showing us this. So when you go there and you go look at a course, and the course is teaching you all about how to become a great technician and how to go out and get a job, they're under the assumption that your parents done taught you all of this stuff right here, and that you're gonna be putting $300 away or more each month to actually when you get ready to retire, you got $3.2 million. Yeah, you can retire good there because you good. You ain't got to worry about going out starting business. Your uncle, he got a business. He pay you enough money where you can pay the. Just think if your uncle, like my nephew, I pay him enough money where he can put the $500 a month in. If he put in the five, he got 4.9 million. Then when he getting ready to graduate, I mean, not graduate, getting ready to retire. So yeah, you ain't got to worry about that. Your uncle and your cousin, they ain't gonna fire you from the job. No, you ain't got to worry about losing your job. You're gonna make good promotions and stuff, and your family have taught you that. So that's what they're assuming. But when you pop up there 55, or they assume that you have done this all your life, and you popping up there 55, and you're just looking for something to do. You don't want to be sitting around the house with mama worrying you. You're just looking for something to do, something to make a little extra money. Then that's what they're assuming. They're not assuming that you ain't got nothing and you getting ready to retire. And so your life is totally different. And nobody's talking to you like that. Go look at any of the courses. Look at any other courses that people have, and they have the curriculums up of what they're going to teach you, and count how much stuff goes on there about business and about your finances and stuff. It doesn't, because all other cultures and stuff take care of this at the dinner table. This is what they talk about at the dinner table. Now, let me show you why we can't. Why when we start off, we don't have any money to invest and do this. Even if somebody wanted us, had told me about this when I first got started, I couldn't invest money. I'm going to show you why I couldn't invest any money, um, right here. All right, I'll show you why I couldn't invest any money. All right, give me a second. I'm going to share my little whiteboard with you. All right, show you my little whiteboard. And these are real numbers. These are real numbers that I'm getting ready to show you now that I had. Okay, so when I was making about before I left corporate America, or when I left corporate America, let me get my stuff up. Okay, when I left corporate America, I was making about 4,000. I was bringing home about $4,000 per month. All right. From there, if I was a single guy and I wanted to live the exact life that I was living, if I was a single guy, uh, the house note was about $1,300 to live in the house that we lived in. That's what our note was. So from there, that's the house. And these are real bills that people have. Let me get so that's the house. So that left me with $2,700. Then from there, I had a car payment of about $700. I had a Nissan Xterra for about $700 a month. That left me about $2,000. Now I gotta pay utilities. That'll be your water, electric, and I'm gonna put phone and cable and all that stuff in there together. And these are numbers people have right now, and this how a lot of us are living, and and they talking about going to get a job, and and should they get into appliance repair, and I shouldn't be getting on them about retirement. So that leaves you with $1,500 for the month. Now, uh, right now, health insurance is going to cost you about $600 a month. Right now, I pay $800 a month um, for health insurance. But I'm saying if you're a single guy, cost you about $600 a month. And numbers can be off a little bit, but I have some that catch it. Leave me with nine. Now, if food, spending about $125 per week on food, that's eating out and buying groceries and stuff. Now that leaves about $400 per month. Now, this is the thing that this is what I thought my problem was right here, and this is about the average child support that most men pay. I had child support right here, and that's why I was so pissed off at child support. Because in the month I had zero, and I thought child support was my problem. And so with that, I was mad at my daughter's mom and mad at the whole situation. Child support, they the ones who caused them all my problems. But I didn't realize it was the fact that the real reason I was having all the problems was right up here. I just won't making no money. So it won't no money for me to put away. And then I got that when the child support came, I ain't had no money. I was making about between 40 to $50,000 a year, and by taxes and stuff, I was bringing home about 4,000. And what happened is when the child support hit me for four, I'm thinking child support is the problem. That's killing me, and that's what most African American men cry about. They say child support killing me. That's why you see this MGTOW and everybody now don't want to be with no woman and stuff because they ain't got the extra $400. Now that a child support came, I got to pay. I got gas. I got to go on my car. I ain't got no money for gas to go in my car right now. So now I got some bill is going to be late. There's always some bill late. The paying your rent late, or paying your car note late. Something's gonna get paid late because you got to put gas in your car. Uh, I still ain't paid nothing in retirement because I didn't have no money to put nothing in retirement. So it wasn't nothing going in retirement because I ain't have no money. All my money I thought was going right here to child support. Right now, didn't have insurance. I ain't paid no insurance on the car. When my insurance note came around to pay for my car, I had to pay my insurance. It was a struggle. I mean, it was a struggle to pay for that insurance. I mean, it was an absolute struggle to pay it this me working as an engineer. And luckily for me, I didn't have this problem, but so many of us do have this problem right here. I did not have it, but Lord knows if you got student loans, that's another $1,000 or more to make this $4,000 a month. You done. And so that's I didn't have it. And they say, well, you get married, it doesn't go. It's the same thing because now you're not gonna you got a salary, but you're not gonna live in you might keep the same house right here that you have. You might go up a little bigger house. Yes, y'all are, because y'all getting $400,000, $500,000 houses. Your house note gonna be double, and then down here you're gonna have to have two cars, so that's gonna be double. The cell phones will go up a little bit. Health insurance is gonna go up. Food is gonna go up, and most of the time you might not. Yeah, the man still got child support. He still got child support. That's why his wife and the baby mama don't get along because she mad too because she said all his money going to child support. All she wanted is money. But now, what's happening now? If you young people, both of y'all owe student loans, so now you got $2,000 or more in student loans going out, and y'all can't put nothing away for retirement, insurance, and cars and stuff. I know because I started having private conversation with you all, and this is what's going on. So when I start telling you all this, that you ain't got time to whatchamacallit, to keep playing around you in your 50s. I'm saying you this because I see what's coming. I know what's coming. And other people are not telling you that because they are assuming that they are assuming that you already know and that your financial house is in order. People just don't realize how broke, and sometimes we don't like to say it, but people just don't realize how broke it is in our family structures. Even the ones that have college degrees and stuff, and it looks like they're doing well, we are broke. And nobody knows that because of credit and all this other stuff and all these facades that we can push out there to make people think we have it. Nobody really knows how destitute we really are. Today, I just went to a Hispanic supermarket. They bought an old Walgreens and they turned it into a supermarket. I mean, it's marvelous in there, and they have their foods in there. They got everything is in there in Spanish and stuff because they're not broke. They're within their culture. They're not broke. We are dead broke. I can't. There's no African American supermarkets nowhere that I know of in North Carolina. None that I know of in the state of North Carolina. Maybe it's another, but in every town in Johnston County, they got one in Selma. They got two. They got two in Selma. They got one in Nightdale. They got one in Clayton now. They got their supermarkets everywhere. We don't have any. The Indians, they have their supermarkets where they we don't have nothing. And and that's how broken, destitute we are. But nobody sees that because they get masked by LeBron James and all this stuff like Akon and all them saying they're gonna do all this stuff. And I know they ain't got the money to do it, but they put the facade out there, and people don't think that we're broke like we're broke. So that's the reason why when people come to me and they're in their 50s and they're in their 60s and and I have a sense of urgency and stuff because I know what's coming up. I know what's coming up for them. I know it's coming up because I start asking them those questions about, have you purchased a house yet? What are you gonna do for retirement? And they can't answer. A lot of times they won't answer me back. And I'm not trying to be harsh or anything, but I'm showing reality that this right here is going to happen now, because now that you have a you working for appliance repair. Now you come out and you start your own appliance repair business. Let me show you something right here. Let me share this again. Uh, Now that you come up and you have your own appliance repair business, and say you 55 here now, um, and you starting off with 10,000. The government only going to allow you to put in that $583 because that's all you can put in if you work in a job. But now, because you own your own company, it's unlimited. You can put 30, 40, $50,000 a month away for retirement, and you got better retirement vehicles than just the Roth. You got so many ways you can dump money. It's countless ways you can dump money. But we're just gonna say, and you don't have to pay taxes. You can do you can do delayed compensation. There's so many avenues now that you are a business owner where you can actually now hoard away cash and use it as later on. So we're just gonna say, realistically, you could realistically start an appliance repair business. You could put $2,000. You start and do what I tell you to do. You can realistically start putting $2,000 a month away in a retirement plan. I mean, you could do it and it won't hurt you, because what I'm telling you to do, it'll generate 8 to 10,000. I mean, $10 to $12,000 per month. So you can take $2,000 a month off and put into retirement. And now let's see what you get. Now you got $680,000 per month, and that's just that 2,000 is being conservative. You can put $2,000 a month away, because you were saying what I'm doing every uh, my wife gonna be mad at me. She tell me I need to stop putting numbers out there. But you're saying about every 6 months or so, or every 6 to 8 months, I'm pulling 40 to 50, 60,000 off, and going out buying property cash. So just think, if you could do that too, you'll be able to do that too with appliance repair. So you'll be able to take that much money and pull it off. I just had a guy who came to the open house. He pulled me to the side, say, I just paid 40,000 cash for a house. I didn't think I was gonna own a house. So he'll pull it. You can pull it off in a year. So you can pull 40,000 and dump it in. But we're just gonna say 2,000. That's about 24,000 a year. You putting that in, you're gonna end up, by the time you turn 67, you end up with $680,000 and 29 cents. Let's see what that's gonna give you. 680 029 times 0.08. That give you $54,000 a year. That's the average salary of most people working in America. You can live off of $54,000 a year, and you can be you won't be balling and stuff. But that's the average salary of what people make in average household in the United States. So you're good. You spend about and by that time you should have your house paid for and all that. So you can live okay. You can have dignity. You ain't gonna be going out buying a whole bunch of vacation homes and all that, but you can live with dignity and don't have to worry about your kids and stuff having to support you and do stuff. So that's how you can win. But realistically, say we just bump it up. Let's bump it up to 3,000, which you can do easily in appliance repair. You could easily put $3,000 a month away. Now you got right at $1 million, and see how much that's going to give you. That'll give you about 80,000. We'll give you right at about $80,000 that you can do, and that's living a good life there. But yep, that's $79,000. That's money that you got and take care of you and your wife and stuff. And the great thing about this, when you leave, now you got something that you can give to your kids, and they can start off. So when they get ready to start off, if you say if you got if you got we're gonna just say you got you're gonna have two kids. Let's say you got two kids, um, and that's how much money you got and that you have accumulated. And after you and your spouse have died or you died, we're gonna divide that amongst both of them. That'll give you $499,000 $499,545. So we're not gonna give it to them in cash because we don't already told them what they need to do. We're gonna put it into a mutual fund for them, and then say if your kids you pass away, your kids uh say your kids in their 40s. We're gonna give them 40. When your kids you pass away, your kids in their 40s, and all they're gonna do is just they're gonna put the they just say they can put $100 $200 away per month, and that's mainly what the what the other races are doing. They ain't putting a lot because they got a bigger nut starting off with. They're gonna put $200 a month away. Look, they got 13 million that they, that they can retire with, and then when they drop it again with the spread amongst their kids start again, it gets keep compound, and that's how they have money. That's how Abdul and them they're able now when they get ready to go do something. When they were telling me, you and your friends just everybody just pull out $30,000 and go do something. I'm telling him my friends don't have it. We ain't got it. They couldn't believe it that we didn't have it. They because that's what their parents had done. Because their parents knew. Our parents didn't know that, and so they know that, and got taught to them. So you can now leave it so your kids can be better now, and they can do better. And so that's what I'm actually teaching. Because a job have too many limits that keep you from actually being able to actually make the money that you need to actually retire to actually uh, to actually retire with dignity. A job, for one, they're not gonna pay you enough money to actually put enough away, and then on top of that, they limit how much you can put away. So you can't store a whole bunch. Now if you start when you first get out of college and start putting money away, yeah, you can make enough money. You can put enough money away then. But like I say, we have because just for us to get to the point where we want to go make a decent living, we take on so much debt and we have so much stuff baggage that come through us from our families that we don't have enough money to start putting away saving for anything. So this is why I'm telling you all that with us, it's something it's something we're in a situation that is different circumstances for us. We have to we have to look at it at a different lens. We just can't. If you at 55 and you talking about you just want to learn how to repair appliances, you don't do it. You don't have time to do that. You don't have time to work up to corporate America and stuff. You don't have time to do that now. You got to get out here and start learning how to start your own business. Because if you get to a point where you don't put enough money away, your business then can take care of you. Your business then can actually sustain you in those times. You can build your business up so your business can still pay your salary and whatnot. You can then because once you start learning business, you learn where to start putting your money at. You start learning how to buy cash producing assets. You start learning stuff about finances. You start learning all this stuff, and then you can. The great thing about it, you can apply it directly now. It's not something now where people go read. I think about all of us. About anybody I talk to, they have read Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, Conspiracy of the Rich. They don't read all those books, but they had no way to. They've read it and they know it, and they know the terminology. They know the knowledge. They got the knowledge and they got the understanding of it, but they never had a way to actually put it and see the application of it. Now, when you go read those books about money and stuff like that, it's not just for entertainment. You can actually apply it and see what works and what doesn't work. That's why I say again about appliance boot camp and about appliance repair field. The appliance repair field allows you to actually allows you to actually come in and actually see this type of stuff, and you can read, like I say, jiu-jitsu with horse Gracie in there. They cleaned up a lot of that martial arts stuff, the stuff that won't no good. You can actually apply that to your you can apply it right now to your life, and you can get those results, and you can tell who's telling the truth and who's not. And that's what I'm telling you all. When I'm going out here, and we're not boasting or anything like that. When I'm going out here showing you all that you can go out here and buy a cheap building, you can put a building business in it, you can renovate it and rent it. I'm showing you all that because that's what we need. That's what our culture needs. It's only so many ways that you can test the heater element. There's only so many ways that you can test a thermistor. There's only so many ways you can test a thermostat. You need to know how to do that so you can get the cash in and stuff. But you don't. We're in a certain situation where we actually have to get out here and start creating generational wealth and start creating money for us. It's a different thing. We don't have the luxury of trying to be the best technician it is in the whole area. We got to get out here and we got to play catch up, and we got to get out here and start making some money, or else we're gonna have some hard lives, because Social Security and all that stuff, all those government handouts and stuff, that stuff leaving. That stuff is leaving, and you got to start fending on your own. And we got to put our stuff and put stuff in place that we can actually start fending for our own and doing for ourselves. Okay. I got 252, 252. 252, you on? Are you there, 252? But yeah, so that's I'll let him get a chance to unmute himself. That's why I teach the appliance boot camp the way I teach it. It's not so I don't 252, you on?
Yep, I think I am now. I kept hitting *6 and it kept acting up on me. Can you hear me, Mike?
I can hear you. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, brother? BK from the Rockies, man.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? What's up?
What's good, brother? Yeah, I've been meaning to call in, but this one right here, this is the important talk.
Yes,
like everyone else was saying in the chat, I literally started learning all this when I went to graduate school in the Rockies. And I literally was like, what's an IRA? What is an individual retirement account? I literally started working on stuff because when I was in grad school, other people there were doing it. And I was just like, wow, I guess I missed all this stuff with all the schooling I did all my life growing up in the Carolinas. And so, like I tell people right now, yeah, you're behind. Don't dwell on it too much. Start now. Start working on some things. You got to start building now. Start learning about all the individual retirement accounts, learning about traditional, learning about Roth, another one, the SEP one, SEP IRA, which I think is self-employed pension.
Right.
Start learning about CDs, certificate deposits. Start building it now, because you got to start building the assets, because honestly, none of us are going to make it out of life alive. Time is going to catch up to us all. Yeah.
Right. Now, who taught you your financial stuff? Was it you had to self-educate yourself, or you had a mentor?
A lot of it, honestly, I picked up mentors by accident. Like literally when I was in graduate school, I got a coupon to go to what's called a premium, H&R Block. And I didn't know that there was different levels of H&R Block. Well, this one, we met in the offices, and apparently these folks help plan people's estates. And so the person who helped me with my taxes was like, BK, have you started working on your retirement? So here I am, like 22. I was like, retirement? I guess I'm going to work till I die. Like, I mean, I didn't know what she was talking about. Really started with my IRA that I've had now for years at about $20 a month, because I was a broke student. I was just having to bring home maybe less than $2,000 a month. And that was me spending on my part of rent and beer with my friends. And just by chance, she got me started on it. And by the time I hit my 30s, or like late 20s, that's when I finally realized that, oh yeah, I'm glad I started that sooner, because now I was vested. I could actually move money in and out if I needed it, but there wasn't much money in there because I just learned what it was. And so a lot of it, by accident, I had somebody there. Her name was Heather, and I still see her, as a matter of fact, because like I told her before in the past, she was one of my greatest professors that I saw once a year when I was in school, because I never knew what that was. But then check this out. One of my classmates, well, when you're in grad school, you still get access to student loan money. Well, he took all the money from being out of state, and he bought his first property. And I remember looking at him, that's crazy. That don't make no sense. But now that I'm older, I was like, damn, I'm the one who's behind. He started out perfect. He bought his first property while we were in our first year of grad school. Going into our third year, he bought his second property, and he was renting out to his homeboys coming from his home state of Iowa. Because like people come out there, he just rent out a bedroom. I didn't even understand it. Now looking back, I'm like, good grief. I wish I had known then what I know now, but like you're saying, other groups know about this already. We just didn't know. It was off our radar, unfortunately. So I started learning, and I've just been trying to learn ever since. And thank you for all that you do, brother.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's I actually learned. It was probably about 15 years ago when I first started going to the Asties. I was going to Asties, and I was going to PSA. And I used to be like everybody. I used to go and try to go to the technical courses to try to learn how to fix the stuff. One time I sat in on they have two sides. They got business side and they got technical side. And for the first year, I would go to the actual technical side. Like everybody else, I want to learn how to fix something. And I'll never forget, I went to the business side one time. I sat down and they asked a question, who makes between, I thought I was doing good. They say, who makes between, I think it was like 50 to 100,000. A couple of people raised their hand. And that time I was making about 130, 150. Who makes between 100 to 160? A couple more raised their hands. I raised my hand. I was happy. And then I see nobody else was raising their hand. I said, these guys don't know anything. They ain't making no money. And they got to 1 million and more. And I start seeing hands go up. I said, these guys.
That's usually what does it. You start hearing people making 250,000. It's not on the job. You're like, wait a minute, you making how much?
Yeah.
Like, who's paying you that? And you're like, oh, no one's paying you that. You own your own stuff. Right. And then you start learning about assets and how these cash flowing assets, like a rental property. I'm like, oh wow, they really are playing Monopoly. Like, good grief. I guess I should have been paying attention when I was playing the game, because at first I'm thinking it's a game. I'm like, no, this is actually real life training.
It's real life. It's real life. Yep, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. After that, I said, forget learning how to get in schematics, and I'm getting on the business side. So I started just going to all the business sides after that. And from there, they had like people come out and plan your retirement and stuff like that. And that's what I started learning. Then I got more interested in it. And same thing, like you say, as you start to do this, mentors just show up when you're ready. And I just had mentors.
Exactly. Just pop up out the blue. Like another one, you were talking about going to your bank. Well, actually, I do several credit unions, and one of them actually offered these emails saying, we have these training courses to work on your retirement and work on finances. Folks, if you get emails like that or offers, go to them. They're usually good financial advisement, so that you find, like Mike has taught us about the multiple bank accounts. Well, one of the methods they were talking about for retirement was the multiple buckets, where you have different accounts that you build up over a lifetime. And then when you finally get to retirement, you start using the first bucket till it's empty. Then you go to the next bucket, and it's kind of like that system where you kind of build up everything. And I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way, but okay, I get it now. But those buckets don't all have to be IRAs. That's what I was saying, like the certificates of deposit, your rental properties. That's how people start getting those multiple streams of income and multiple different types of assets. It's just different things that you learn from talking to people that's been doing this for years.
Just simple stuff, like just a simple conversation. You can you'll be surprised what you'll find out that change your life. Like for instance, the instance with selling your license. I thought, get an electrical license, you just be electrician and make your money. But when somebody started telling me about you can actually become a license holder for companies, that changed my life. It changed my life.
Things of that nature. You're like, oh, I don't have to do anything. I just get money while I sleep, and you do all the work. Wow. Yeah. I get it now. That's how these guys, they're so far ahead. They've learned all the little ins and outs that we've never even heard of.
Nobody had never told me that. Never in their life had told me that.
You're not alone, brother. We're all right here. We're all trying to learn now. We got our crayons up, taking notes. Hey, but I'm not going to hold you up. Continue to teach the good word. We all got your back. Thanks, you, Mike, for everything that you do.
It. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah, I want to show y'all something too. Let me pull it up. Yeah. This is another thing too about getting a job. It's so hectic to get a job. I shouldn't say sold. I signed on as a license holder with another company. I got probably like 7 or 8 more licenses. I need to sign on with somebody. So now that because of COVID, now because of COVID, I got time to actually go and clean up Appliance Boot Camp some. I got time to actually go and actually work on getting my other licenses assigned to people. But let me show you this right here. I had this license that I just got signed on the other day. Let me make this a little bigger. And to do this, now this one is just one license that they took. They just wanted one, so they give me $8,000 for that. But for that $8,000, I was online for almost 2 hours filling out filling out information, because normally what they'll do, they'll just pay me. They'll just pay through the business. But this one, I'm actually gonna try to get. I'm gonna get their actual health insurance back. So with that, they had to bring me in as an employee. So I was online for almost 2 hours after we agreed upon the amount, filling out the information. Are you a military this? How many jobs do you have? I mean, it just went on and on to almost to the point where I got ready to call them. So now I don't want to do it. It's just too much work. It was just hours and hours just for $8,000. But that's what I'm saying. Nobody had told me growing up that if you go get your contractor's license, that all these companies will pay you money just because you got a license. If you go be an attorney, I thought you go be an attorney, you got paid for court. You got paid to do every court case and stuff. But you can sign on for the town and just be town attorneys and stuff. It's just you can do it for multiple towns. It's just crazy. And this is stuff nobody is telling us. And because if say like my son or my daughters and them, they didn't want to do appliance. They didn't want to be an electrician. But I can give them enough hours so they can go take their license. And then they go take their license. And once they take their license, they take the test and they can pass it and get their license. They don't have to do no electrical work. They can go out here and do this right here and make $100,000 on top of their jobs. And so when they go to work, this right here is totally. And when they go back to work, they whatchamacallit. You thinking they working the same as you are, but they whatchamacallit. They making $100,000 not doing anything. Just because they got that license now, they got that license, and they can go out here to different companies because it's worth something. Like I say, my bachelor's degree, I can't want nobody give me 2 cents for that. But that I can sell, I can take that and go anywhere across the country, and it's worth something. Where people come buy them, and I tell people that all the time. Like, shoot, I can sit here and just call up companies that I know that need it, and I'll just say, hey, you got somebody in this state? Nah, they'll tell me what states do you have, and I'll send them a list of the states that I have, and they'll pick the ones they want, and they say how much you want. 8,000 for each one that you want to pick up. Okay, give it here, and they take it and run. So, but yeah, so that's the stuff that I'm trying to show you all that when you go to other courses and stuff, they're not going to teach you. They're going to teach you how to be an appliance repairman. Just teach you how to fix appliances. That's great too. But like I say, with us, it's so much stuff that's missing in our and within our culture, within our race, that we don't have that luxury of just saying, I'm just gonna go out and get a job. And then on top of that, you currently work a job, and you know all the problems that come with working that job you at right now. Why are you gonna trade that for another job? You gonna if you calling me and you in your 50s and you don't have enough money put aside yet for a retirement where you're gonna live comfortably, you're gonna need to do something where you are throwing some money there. If it's just for the simple fact that you can whatchamacall, that you can get out here and get the because once you start your business, then that opens you up where you got different vehicles where you can participate, where you can throw larger pockets of money into the bucket, and also it gives you enough cash so you can do what people tell you to do. Go out and purchase rental property for cash and renovate it and rent it out. And the rental property is good because when inflation goes up, you just go up on the rent. You ain't worried about the stock market. If the inflation goes up, I go up on my rent, and that's it. And if it gets to a point where I can't rent it out at that price, I get to write it off as a loss on my taxes. So it's just so much stuff you can do where you almost can't lose. And so with me, I personally I don't like the stock market. I just ain't put the time in to study it. It could be good. I started off doing the stock market. I did not like the stock market. That not saying that it's bad or anything. I just did not like it. I like the real estate, and I like the businesses better. With the real estate doesn't give off as much money as a business does, but it's a steady flow of money, and it's a good way to store your money. Meaning that instead of me having several $100,000, like now, instead of me having several $100,000 in a retirement fund or in a bank account, I got several $100,000 sitting out there in property, and then from there, that property kicks me off enough money for me to actually live per month. And same thing, I know that I can sell my license like I'm doing until I die. So that'll take care of me. Also, I got businesses that I started. So these businesses that I started, those businesses will still kick off money all the way till I get ready to die, until my wife die, to keep going too. And that's another thing too. We're gonna have to do this another time because we're running a little late. We got a whatchamacallit. You gotta know what type of insurance and stuff that you need to buy starting out. I buy term life insurance, and you want to buy it. Find out how much money you currently bring home now, how much net you bring home now, and you want to multiply. You want to get 15 times that amount. Some people say 10 times, but I like to get 15 times just to hedge against inflation and stuff. So if I was making $100,000, I would like to get maybe 1.1 or $1.15 million worth of term life insurance. You can get that pretty cheap. And then because my wife is not going to want to run the businesses and stuff that I run if I was to die. And if you're young, like if you're a young couple, and you haven't put away anything for retirement and stuff, and if you die, your wife and your kids still got to live on, and you want to be able to take that money and put it into a mutual fund, and from there they would be able to get the 8% off, and that would just replace your salary. So it'd be even though you're dead, they'll still get your same salary, and your wife and your kids will still have a great life even though you're dead. Now, once you get older, no term, people say, well, they want to go whole life. Yeah, whole life. I don't like it. It costs a lot more money. You don't get as much back, but you get to keep it for your whole life. At some point in time, you need to get to a point where you self-insured. Where I'm coming to now, I'm pretty much self-insured. So if something was to happen to me, uh, once my term is complete, most of the time they give you a way to extend it. But if something was to happen to me now at the age I'm at now, my kids and stuff are graduated. Um, got one getting ready to go into college, but I got enough stuff in place right now where if I was to die, my wife and my kids would still they'd be fine. So now you pretty much self-insured. You don't really need term life insurance. They just be able to live, continue living their life and have a great life. We need to talk about that too, how to actually buy insurance and what type of insurance you need to have and at what rate. For and make it putting these things in place so when you do pass early, don't nobody have to be going to do no GoFundMe and all that other crap trying to put you in the ground. And the one thing you don't want the only piece of land that you ever own is that little cemetery plot that they're gonna put you in. No, you need, and some of us now not even getting that. You getting a spot on top of somebody a mantle because they're burning you up because they ain't got no money to put you in the ground. So now you don't even get that little plot. So you want to go out here now and start get your mindset that you're going to be out here and you're going to be purchasing cash producing assets. You're going to leave your wife and kids and stuff well off and leave them better than what you started and learn this financial stuff. And like I say, go look at any other courses. Look at any other courses and see if they teach you anything at all about business or retirement or anything. Those courses are very good. They're excellent, excellent, excellent at creating technicians. I cannot take that from them. They're excellent at creating technicians. But I will say, as far as teaching business owners and creating entrepreneurs, we're probably leading the pack in that. I would say we are leading the pack on creating entrepreneurs and business owners. We're leading that pack. And right now, that's what we need. We don't need any more employees. We need people who start being employers. And like I say, if you don't like the appliance repair field, just stay in it a year or two to get your cash ready, get your cash up, get the wolf away from the door, and learn the business acronyms and all the skills that go with owning a business. And you can take that and you can laterally move across to any business and be okay. But you need to learn how to start playing business and actually not playing, learn how to start doing business. And appliance repair is good because you don't have to do a lot of marketing and selling of it. It has a steady flow of customers coming in, and it allow you the time to actually learn it, to learn the business, and to make the mistakes and still be okay. You can actually make mistakes in appliance repair with your customer service, with your marketing, with the customer appliances. You don't want to make a lot of them, but you can do that, and it's unforgiving because it's still a need for you out here. Even though you could be a sorry business owner, you can be a sorry technician. You don't want to be that, but appliance repair will allow you to redeem yourself. You can actually start off that way, and you can redeem yourself at any point in time, become a great business owner and a great technician. Not many other businesses allow you to do that. Once you get a bad reputation, it's done. But appliance repair, it will allow you to redeem yourself. It can be forgiven, and that's why I love it so much. That's why I love it so much. And you can do like now, appliance repair. My business is growing too big again, and I can now, I just like you do in the fall where you actually prune your bushes back and stuff and cut them back. I'm gonna start cutting back. I'm not no. If you get to a point where you're overbooked and you got too much work like I am now, you got one or two things you can do. You can raise your prices and run people off and just keep premium people coming in. You can what you call it. You can reduce your service area so you're not traveling as far. You can get more people in that's closer by, and that make your profits goes up because you're not traveling as far and you're not spending as much time and you're doing it in less time. So you can do stuff like that. I'm gonna have to prune back and actually and get mines back in because what happened, the subs and stuff, their stuff is picking up and they're gonna start doing less work, and I don't want to be stuck out there working those days. So I'm going to actually start to prune back some and actually get to a point where it's just going to be if they leave, I'm just going to do 1 or 2 days just for content, and like I keep saying I'm going to do, and just be right. I'm not going to be going out to Raleigh and all that other stuff. I'm going to be right around my house. I'm going to read just a uh, couple of the actual chat, and then I'm getting out of here. All right. Okay, that's BK say retirement. He's working on it. He's been trying to plan out since the 20s. That's great, man. I got a late start. Untamed Kango said, Mike, tell the wife thank you for the 2 times a week. Yeah, I actually now Wednesday, we had a great discussion about 2 weekends ago. My sister-in-law came and we had a great discussion about the building and all of that. And I had to make some concessions. So Wednesdays now are actual date night. So Wednesdays are the date night. I turn the phone off. So you try to call me after 3 o'clock, it's like you ain't gonna get through. So we have date night, and we actually went to a great place, a restaurant called Ray's over in Cary, and I went there, and it was very good. We had a good time. The first time in a long time, I put on some nice clothes. Went to a nice restaurant, and it was very rewarding. If you hadn't done that, do that. Get a. Y'all make enough money now to do it too. Uh, go out to a nice restaurant. That restaurant is about maybe 200 for the two of us. Is about $230 for us to eat. But take your wife somewhere nice like that, and just be in there. Uh, uh, in the atmosphere around those people, and you feel like, and you know that you belong. That's the thing. We there, and we pull up, and we're in there, and I know I belong in there. I belong to be in here. This is it ain't me just walking in and just trying it out. Yeah, I belong in here, and that felt really good, and it's a little bit of an ego thing too. I will say that, but to know that you're there and you ain't got to look at the menu prices or anything, you belong in there, and you're in that group. That felt good. So try that with your wife and stuff. And let's see what else we got. Yeah, that retirement at 67.5. Yeah, inflation said, nah, you can't get it. You don't have anything. Yep, our age is 6,000 per year if you under 50. At 50, I think under 50, and then 50 and over, you can go seven. Okay. Saw the video and just jumped in with both feet. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna do the I'm waiting for after the election. After the election, I'm going to do the next live class. Right now, they playing too many games with this election coming up. I don't want nobody to come here and they shut down an airport or something like that and you stuck here. So I'm not going to do any more live until after the elections because they're playing too many games and I don't want nobody to get stuck here. But after the election, we're going to have some lives coming up. And like I say, if you haven't already, you got to the end of October, the price is going up. It's going to be 2,200 for the live event, and it's going to be 850 for the actual online. So I'm not putting any dates in to after the for the live event. It's going to be after the election. I'm going to see what happens. I want to see what happened after the election, and then after that, I'll put my dates in. Yeah, that student loan bust people in the head, girly girl. Yeah, hey now, Dr. Funk. Yeah, it can be depressing when you start looking at those numbers, and a lot of times it's a reality check because a lot of times you just think, oh, things gonna work themselves out, but math is not gonna. The math is gonna work out according to the math, and you gotta be intentional. Where you saying this is where I'm going and that's where I'm gonna be at, and if you don't actually get to your actual goal, you'll be somewhere close to it. You'll be surprised. You'll get somewhere close to it, and this is something key. If you look at the video I put up the other day where I was talking to the guy who owns like seven buildings that in downtown Smithfield and Selma, and he owns about maybe 3 or 4 different businesses. He said something that I went back and I was listening. I said he's right. He told me he said when I was he talking about buying buildings. He said yeah after the he said the first two. He said after you buy the second one it gets easier, and it does. He telling me the exact truth. After you buy that second building, the third and anything after you pay buy your second house or anything that third, fourth, fifth, it gets a lot easier. It's kind of like running and working out. After you start doing it a little bit, it get a lot easier, and you're not sweating bullets. I remember the first time I paid cash for a house. I whatchamacall, I was sweating bullets for a couple of months. I said, what happened if something bad happened? All my cash gone, whatnot. But now I can pay cash for it, and I'm okay. I know I'm gonna be okay. All right. Yeah, a lot of it's all across. It's not just in here. A lot of peeps everywhere paying those student loans, and it's killing us. Okay, start doing this more, girly girl. Okay, yeah, we have to get more into this financial stuff. And like I say, when people call in and they're 50 some years old and older, this is why I say the stuff I'm saying. I'm not saying it to put anybody down and run people off. I want people to know the urgency of why they have to do something and why they have to get into a business. You're gonna have to get into a business. A job a job is not gonna be able to help you. It's unfortunately it's not gonna be able to help you. And people are doing us a disservice by not telling us that. And then when we get older and we trying to realize why the math didn't work out in our favor, it's because when you started out, we start out at such a disadvantage that we don't we can't make it. The math is not going to make it in our favors, and they know it. They know that when they allow you to sign up for all this student loan debt, knowing you ain't gonna make no money. They know you ain't gonna be able to do anything. They know you. They know you ain't not gonna be able to do anything. When they see you come and they look at your debt to credit ratio and you trying to get that 750 Beamer and stuff, they know that you killing 2 or 3 generations behind you. They know that, but you can't tell us no because we want it, you know. And a lot of times we get mad and fight for it. Right now, in our group, our investment group, we're trying to do an investment, and the people we're trying to do the investment with, they're telling us y'all not ready. But the group is fighting, say we want to, and they keep pushing us back, saying you're not quite ready yet. And I admit I'm with them. We're not quite ready to go there yet, but we're anxious, want to go there, but we're not quite ready. And sometimes that's what happens too, because we're not educated on this stuff. That um, uh, I ain't gonna say that. Sometimes you need to. They have this thing called being an accredited investor. Meaning before you start investing, you need to have so much net worth. You need to have so much money coming in. You got to know what you're doing, so that way they don't want you invest. $300, $400, and then you be calling every week, want to know where your money at, when you gonna get paid. Most people won't take that type of money. Most people only want money from accredited investors, and they want money from people who've done it before. They don't want nobody coming in and trying to figure it out and then want to pull out, or somebody trying to come in and do something and going to cause more problems for them. They want somebody that know what they're doing, come in, they know the nuances that's going to come with this investment, and they ready to ride it out, and they ready to fight. You come in, you say, "Hey, I'm ready to get in. Put me in the ring, coach." And you ain't never taking no blows. And next thing you know, you catch an uppercut and you want to come out. They don't want that, and so they're telling our group, "You're not ready. You're not ready." And they're trying to do it nicely. They give us a little bit and they say, "Just think about it." But the group wants to kind of want to go on. And sometimes it's best when somebody trying to warn you, stay out. And a lot of times we take that as people trying to trying to do stuff because of your race. They're being they're trying to discriminate against you. It's not that. It's just the fact that you're not at the point where you're ready to do that. And we have to be um, uh, we have to be knowledgeable of that. That sometimes it takes some time. Where these guys been doing this forever, and they've been doing a lot bigger deals, and now we coming in trying to ride on with them. This is just one of these things we need to stay at home on. Yeah, Mike haven't hit on one of the biggest expenses we have, our family, unfortunately. If you are blessed to have older family, their assets expenses have to be managed too. Yeah, it is. Um, I was just talking to one of my mentors this past weekend. His wife unfortunately just passed, but his wife, he has a business. Just think this might happen to you. It could happen soon to you with this thing with COVID. Well, anyway, his wife had gotten sick, and they've been made aware that she didn't have that much longer to go. They had a choice. They could actually send her to a rest home, assisted living place, to for the remainder of her days. But if that, couldn't nobody go see her because of the COVID and all that, and he didn't know. Hey, this is his wife. If she's making her transition, he wants to be there. I would want to be there, and the grandkids and the kids want to be there too. But because he had a business he operated for many a years, he what you call. He was able to talk to a company that had they used to have a retirement home, assisted living home. They didn't have one now, but they still had their license. He was able to say, "Hey, I want to bring my wife in, and she doesn't have COVID, and none of us have COVID. We'll get tested, but I want to be able to bring her in for us to actually be able to spend her remaining days with her as she make her transition." And he was like, "Well, I don't have no staff." And he was like, "Well, just call up your old staff, and she got to have 24-hour care, and I'll pay their salaries for the 24-hour care." And he done it, and she actually held on for about maybe 2 to 3 months. But for 2 to 3 months, no, he was able to actually pay the I think it was like right at it was costing him right at $300 a day, 7 days a week. So that's $2,100. He was able to pay that every week and didn't hurt him because of his business. And because you got business, you can do stuff like that. And I thought about it. I said, wow, if I had never thought about it. I said, if something happened to my wife right now, or to one of my kids or my parents and stuff, and I came to that situation, I know I will be able to do that. Say, okay, I want to keep them here, so if they're making their transition, so I can get my moments with them. And you could do something like that. And he done it, and didn't hurt him. He was glad to do it. Glad to do it, that he was able to make her transition good, and everybody got to say their final goodbyes and know that she was well taken care of during that transition, versus where if you don't have that money and it's time to make that transition, you don't know what's going on with your loved one, and you can't even go talk to them or anything during that time. So that's another reason why you need a business, to be able to do stuff like that. All right. Let's see here. We'll read one or two more. Uh, Social Security is funded by the payroll tax, the same tax many people just got a break from. Uh, yeah, no, ain't no money in Social Security. It's a blank sheet of paper. They spend it before they get it. Ain't no money there. Uh, yeah, that was great what BK done. Yeah, nobody know the rule of 72. The rule of 72, that's prestige mobile detailing. The rule of 72 is you take whatever your interest rate is, return on investment, whatever your ROI is, and you divide that by 72, and that tell you how long it'll take for your investment to actually double. So, so like somebody tell you, put some money in the savings account or a checking account and just let it sit there and live off the interest. They ain't done that because you're getting less than 1%. It take 70 some years for for your money to double. But yeah, the rule of 72. That's how you can tell how long it's gonna take your money to double. Yeah, 5 checking accounts good. Okay, some the Come Up series is a YouTube channel. Okay, okay, Thomas, that'll be good. Yeah, we're closed on Wednesday, but Thursday we're open. We're open Thursday through Friday. That'd be good. We'd love to see you. Hey, how you doing, Norfolk Appliance Repair? All right. How much hours for appliance repair? There's no license required for appliance repair license. Not in North Carolina. I think California, and New York might have some type of some type of some type of I guess little trade license or something. But North most states no hours. You can just start. That's what make appliance repair good. You know that you can borrow against your whole life insurance once it's paid up and finance your own purchases. Yeah, that's what a lot of people tell you. Get a whole life and you can borrow against it and stuff like that. But I much rather, uh, okay, with the whole life, to get like $1 million worth of insurance, in whole life, it's gonna cost you a couple of $100 per month or more, um, to get that. And insurance is not for investing. Insurance is just what it is, insurance. So you don't go buy insurance to invest. You go buy insurance to have insurance in case you die. So I want to pay for that as cheap as possible, and I want to take my money and invest it in real investments. So that's what I don't want to invest in insurance. I want to buy it for cheap as possible. For me to get $1 million worth of life insurance, term life, it cost me like 100 and I think mine is like $119 every 3 months. That's all it costs. Um, um, but I then take my other money that I make and I go get real investments. I'm not gonna put my money in there and then get it paid up. And because what they're doing, they're gonna take your money, the extra $300 and stuff that you're putting out and invest in it. The extra $300 a month or whatever that you're paying them to get that large sum of money, they're gonna take that money and they're gonna actually go out and invest it. And then that money that they make on that return they make on investing your money, that's what they loan back to you. So how much? And you don't get that back. You only gonna get the face value. You ain't gonna get all the money that I made. I'd rather just what's it called? Give them a little bit of money to cover me just in case. As they, I think Chris Rock and them say about insurance. Insurance is just in case I pass before I get myself straight, and then I take that extra money and I go out here and I invest it in real investments. Or if the dividend is high enough, it will pay its own premium. Yeah, nah, that's okay. I can pay that little $30 a month, and I'll take the money and go somewhere else. There you go. Prestige Mobile. Buy term and invest the difference. There you go. That's exactly what you do. Uh, Take care of health, not worth Western medicine. Okay. Yeah. Same thing with health insurance. I'm having to, my wife and like I said, for a long time, I used to get the free health insurance. But the company I was giving it for, they got sold out. That's why now I take my licenses going other places. So I bought the health insurance through USA. I like it. I like it. I have no problem with it. But getting my wife to actually know, That's for major stuff. Health insurance is not for you if your stomach hurt to go to the emergency room and pay $20. That's what's making the health insurance go so far now, because people go there for everything. They got a bump on their arm. I'm going there and expect to pay $20. So with that, for the regular checkups and stuff, a regular checkup, my daughter had to go for a regular checkup. It was $230 that it cost for that checkup. I tell my wife, just pay for that. Insurance don't cover that. It covered major stuff. So what happened with that? I tell my wife, just pay for it. Don't get mad. Well, I ain't never had to pay in the past. Yeah, you didn't, but we got different type of insurance now. The $240 don't hurt us. Just pay the $240 and move on. What I didn't want the insurance for, if I catch a heart attack, if I get a heart attack, if I get in a car accident or something like that, where it's some major, that's when that insurance step in for and go. So I don't know how you can actually, as far as take care of health, I don't know how much alkaline water and linseed oil and all that stuff you can use to prepare for somebody hitting you head on in a car accident. That's stuff that you can't prepare for, that you need to be able to pay. And when you go there, like I said, when I got in that car accident several years ago, they not playing around. Before they go operate on you, they want to know how you're going to pay. And they serious. You got to pay your money up front before they start messing with you. They want to know you. They get you stable, but then they say, we're gonna get you stable and send you home, and then you come back 2 days and tell us how you're gonna pay before we go forward. Okay, somebody got a contractor's license. Okay, okay. All right, you're gonna rent one of those offices. All right, no problem. There you go, Miss Ward. How you doing? Okay, 20 texts to a million, Uncle Mike. Okay. Yeah, out here one Mrs. Sneed. Yeah, there you go. Uh, Yep, there you go. Prestige Mobile Detailing. Keep your insurance uh, and your investment separate. You don't want to do both of those together. Insurance is insurance. Investments are investments. You keep them separate. You know, if I want, just like if I want good barbecue, I ain't gonna go to no pizza joint and go look for no barbecue. I'm going to a barbecue place. Same thing. If I ain't going to no barbecue place looking for a good pizza. Same thing with your investments and your insurance. They totally two different things. Totally two different things. And I'm gonna tell her that too. Girly girl appliance. Say I had a beautiful wife. Thank you. Uh, yeah, you gotta have a date night. We're gonna have to talk about that too as entrepreneurs. That's gonna have to be a topic. We're gonna have to have a adult topic about wives and significant others. Some things that I have done in the past to make life a lot better as an entrepreneur. And it's still not the best. No, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. It's still a struggle. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. But some things that we have implemented in our marriage that has helped things out, and that's another thing too. If you're somebody who's here, not here, but if you're somebody that's trying to get marital advice and dating advice, for someone that's not been married for long stretches of time and or not married now, be very weary of that, because marriage is a lot different than some of the information I'm seeing coming out here. YouTube is paying a good premium for videos right now. I'm surprised. Right now, I look, they paid like $2,400 last month for Appliance Boot Camp. I can only imagine what the other people who have all these subscribers and they're putting out all this information. They have all these views. I can only imagine how much money they're making. So now it has became. That's why I'm noticing now. Uh, it's There's a lot more entertainment going on and keeping people entertained. And I think I don't think people can tell. I don't think some people can tell a difference. And I think too, because of these numbers we just went over, some people are so broke they ain't got the money to go out and date like people used to date, and they're getting a lot of trash information. I mean, a lot of trash information about how marriage is, how wealthy people is. That video that if you go back and listen to that video that I done this past weekend when I'm talking to that couple, that's the typical wealthy couple that I know. And if you see his wife, she's a nice looking lady, but she's not no supermodel. I don't know any of my friends that's very wealthy. I don't know any of their wives who are supermodels, and I don't know any of their wives that that are meek and mild and don't have an opinion. All of them are somewhat outspoken, and all of them have their own opinion, and they're typical women. They're typical women. So this thing where you think you're gonna make some money and go out here and some woman is gonna bow down to you, nah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Now they are respectful of their husbands and they and whatnot, but they're not nobody meek and mild and stuff like that. And they're not no movie stars or none of this stuff you think you're gonna be getting and stuff. There's none of that. They're just typical everyday women, and that's it. And they're not flamboyant, any of that stuff. They're just typical women, and so sometimes that's why I say I wonder where people be getting their information from when they're talking about wealthy people. I'm not wealthy. I'm not wealthy to that extent. I'm okay, but I'm not wealthy to that extent. But I know people who are very wealthy, and everything that I've heard people say is not true. And then the thing too, I think what happens, we look at too much. Our family structure has gotten broken down so bad over the past couple of generations where we never seen. You got people who never seen their grandmother with her husband, never seen their mom with her husband, never seen an aunt with her husband, never seen their sister, never seen anybody, never seen a married couple interact, and never seen what marriage is. They don't know anything about marriage, and that's I think they're putting this stuff out here and putting they're looking at too many TV shows or something and trying to base that upon marriage. Marriage is nothing like that. It's nothing like that. No, you're gonna have disagreements all the time. Um, you're gonna uh, it's marriage is nothing like that. Nothing like that. You're gonna it's a steady. You have to constantly work at staying married, and you gotta be committed. And the only way you're gonna stay married, you have to take the option of leaving off the table. Where you gotta say leaving is not an option. We're gonna make it work. I gotta, and sometimes it starts off you say I'm gonna stay here for the kids. You know, when the kids get a certain age, I'm you know, everybody say this. Everybody said this. When my kids get a certain age, once they graduate from high school or they graduate from college, I'm leaving. Because I even said that I'm gone when they graduate. I'm done. I'm done. But something happens at mid 40s and stuff like now, where you actually now you love the comfort of a marriage. Where now you say, "Well, she leave, I'm going too. I don't want to be without my wife." You know, you get to a point now where you're comfortable at them. You seek the comfort of marriage, and as a man, I don't know how you go through life and don't go through those transitions and be able to mentor other men, because you need to go through the transition of a young man dating, go from dating to a young man rearing a family, go from a young man from rearing a family to a young man now where we're middle aged men, where we're now learning how to retire and take care of a family, going to being a grandfather, going to the transition of your you gotta go through all those different transitions, because all those transitions shape your thought process and your reasoning, because you do different things. You do one thing with your kids, but then when your grandkids come, you do something totally different. And, and you need to go through all those processes. And unfortunately for our community, that stuff is gone and lost, and the men are just crazy, and they believe in anything. But yeah, I think if you're going to be a mentor to men, you got to go through all those different changes. Okay. So he want to do something. Want to put a course module about acquiring cash and producing assets. Mike, do you think it'd be worth me trying to get an electrical license to sell to other companies like you do? If you got 5 years to go work for somebody and pass the test, yes, if you can, but you're gonna have to spend several years of your life going to work for somebody. If you got a way where you can go take the test and get the license, yeah, go take the test tomorrow and get the license. But yeah, if you don't, just know you're going to cut about 5 years of your life off to get it, going to work for somebody. And once you get to a point where you start telling them you're going to get your license, it might get to a point where they make it hard for you, and then you got to pass the test. It ain't just that easy. I don't work 5 years and I'm going to go sign up and get my license. You got to pass the test, and the test, just like you trying to just like you trying to become a CPA, just like you trying to become a lawyer, the test is on that same. It's on that same field, that same level. It's not something you're gonna just skate in and go take, and it ain't something you're gonna. It ain't something that you just gonna study for a couple of hours and go there and pass and take. It's gonna be something you're gonna have to study. You got to go to. You have to go take a course. The course usually lasts about maybe 3 to 4 days. After you take the course is just to tell you how to take the test, telling you how to take it and how to take tests like that, because there's little nuances you can do to uh, to to get take the test. Because what happens, the test, not only do you have to make a certain amount of you have to pass a certain amount of questions, but also you on a time limit, so you only got a certain amount of time to take those to actually do the questions. And they know that certain if you don't know how to use the book, and to actually find out what answers are in what book and how to actually maneuver through the book. If you got flip through, they know if you got flip out, you got flip back and forth 2 or 3 times. They already put that in there. Say, okay, he gonna time out because he don't know how to use the book. So they know flipping through pages wasting time. You might find the answers, but you won't have enough time to answer all the questions. So they got all that stuff planned out where you can't pass. So you gotta go learn how to take the test, and then once you do that, you're gonna take you probably a month or so actually setting down 4 to 5 hours a day. Just like if you're going to take the CPA exam, you're going to take the. A lot of people don't work when they get ready the month or two leading up to the test. Some people, or they might not work a week or so leading up to the test. They'll tell them, say, okay, I'm studying. Then right before the test, they'll take a week off and study that whole week, 8 hours a day to pass. So it's not something you just gonna. It's not something you're gonna get easy. There's a reason why they make it like that. But you can do it because I got them. I went out and passed many a test. So if I can do it, you can do it too. But once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Young lady, I'm sorry I ran a little bit over this time. Next time I'll reel it back in. I'll be back again Thursday. We're gonna finish it. We're gonna go back into this. We're gonna be back in the series of how to do marketing to customers to actually get more COD customers. Um, Also, I'm in a point too. If I hadn't had employees in a long time, but I'm also now at the ice cream parlor. I got employees there. Um, so if somebody wants to know more about employees, how to actually bring employees in, and how to set up your payroll accounts and all that stuff, I'm actually going to put that module together too for people who do want to have employees. So I'm doing that now with the ice cream parlor, and that's going into the appliance boot camp. How to actually set up uh, no, thank you. She said I'm good. Okay, so people who don't want to do subs, but want to actually have actual employees and stuff. I'm actually going to take and I'm making a module for that. I'm doing it with the ice cream parlor right now, showing you how because now you gotta have a different bank. You gotta have another banking account. You don't want the state and the federal government pulling money for payroll and social security and all that stuff out of your operating account. You want to have them pull that from another account because you want to separate that money. You want them to just pull it directly from there. You don't want them to. What happened in North Carolina, they can pull your money anytime for your taxes and stuff. They see you start paying if you start making too much money, like during a busy season, like during the spring and the summer. And if we start making a lot of money, our sales tax is real high, or our unemployment tax start to be going up, or your work, you start paying your state taxes and it start going up real high. they're afraid that you're going to spend their money. So they'll come pull it anytime. They say, okay, you're supposed to pay it every quarter or every month. They say, I'm going to pull it anytime because I don't trust you seeing all that money. I'm going to come grab it. So you want to separate those accounts. So I have that in there, how to actually set that up. That's stuff that I'm starting to realize again as I got employees here now. So once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. And this is stuff that we need to know as African American business owners, where we actually, this is the part that nobody is showing us. And I wish those other companies, because they generations. I want them to show how you pass it down from generation to generation. Because a lot of those companies, they second and third generation. I don't know how to pass a company down. I never had to do it. I wish they would show that how they actually I wish they would have a course on that, how to actually take that and actually start to uh, 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 show how to actually pass it down and this and all that stuff they do. I want them to show their numbers. A lot of them I notice don't give how they actually do their billing, and because I like to know that. I like to know their numbers, how they bill out. To me, that's the important part. I want to know what your contract is. I want to know how you work your contracts with your third party warranty companies and that. Because that's the to me that's the important part. After a while, I know how to put a washer in diagnostic mode and stuff. Now I need to know how how you billing them out. What rate are you billing at? And 'cause that's the stuff I want to know. Because for my formula, my blueprint, it worked for me and it worked for people to get where I'm at. Now, when they got these 12 and 13 different technicians and stuff like that, I like to know how they billing out, and I like to know their numbers like that. And a lot of times, that's the stuff that they keep close to chest. I guess you have to get in the peer groups to figure that out. So once again, thank y'all for tuning in. Oh yeah, thanks BK. BK said this is a great conversation. Yeah, we have to do more of this. And this is stuff we gotta get comfortable. We gotta get comfortable talking about the money and talking about the retirement because it's happening. I'm 47, so retirement is right around the corner for me. It's right around the corner for me, and I'm in the point now where it's starting to look really good. Where a lot of my investments now are starting to grow and starting to kick back in. Um, my retirement is looking really good, and it looks good. I can say that it looks good. I'm pretty much been retired since about 30, but the retirement that I'm the retirement I'm in right now and where I'm heading to is very good. This is the point where most people say most men don't become millionaires and don't really become wealthy until they get into their late 40s and 50s. I can see why, because right now all that stuff I've done and those early years is now coming now, and it's actually it's like a big snowball where now I have not only do I have the means, but now I have the actual knowledge of where things need to go. I know how to put stuff in place. Um, no, just so much stuff. The other thing too is I'm thinking more about my legacy about kids and grandkids, and that's the other thing too. When I say about men, you got to get to this stage where when you get close to your 50s and stuff. Um, you start actually thinking about grandkids and wanting wanting to have a legacy coming behind you. And I just don't see at 55, 56 me thinking about having young kids starting all over. You never I just don't I just can see that now at this age. I actually want I'm saying, hey, I need a grandson. I need a grandson to put all this stuff into. Uh, my kids, they're a little too close to everything. Unfortunately, my kids they saw all the hard work. They saw all the late nights like now. They see all of this, but by the time I have grandkids, you know, this stuff will be over, and I'll just be just tending my businesses, and I have a lot more time for my grandkids and stuff, where I can actually then put more into them. I think they'll be a little bit more appreciative of it. Your kids, they look at it as work. You know, they at the point now where they say don't start no more businesses because they don't want to do no more work. So, but I think if I had grandkids, they'll be a little bit more appreciative and want to hang around the old guys. So once again, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all